and nobody can tell me anything but how much money do you need, sir? How long would you like us to stay away from you? And what kind of professionals do you need at your demand?
And at 6957, it says chord as connecting, and it also says within the definition a musical string or a chord. I thought that was interesting.
The alphabet is tied to the tabernacle and the stars. You will be a block because you'll go, I don't want to think right now. I don't want to think right now. Well, it's not so much that. It's that we don't want to think with you. So get out of here. But I can't leave because I'm me. So I have to go through this. But to any of those people who are making videos saying he's coming, they themselves wouldn't acknowledge because number one, they're nobody to acknowledge him. See what I'm saying? They have to find the guy so they themselves can be acknowledged. Because he could end up, he could have maybe no tongue. You know, we might have to put a tongue on it, sew a tongue on in the guy's mouth before something happens. And what did this say? I think I see Aaron and Thor, I think it is. Something like that. Is that what I see? Let's listen in. Music, chords, missing chord. The term is also missing chord for the voice of the archangel, or the person we call Son of Man, Christ, Theatos. He's also the door. See, there's so many different terms. You know, Yeshua, Magila, Champion A. So we're not looking for something to fly in and take over the world with powerful angels flying around, because you have to walk outside and first of all realize how big Earth is. So somebody from the garden throughout, as well as King Solomon making affinity, they were aware of these sciences. Psalm 19. And then Ezekiel 44, voice.
And obviously they both have a kuf and a wa. So I looked up kuf and wa, and at 6957 it says chord as connecting, and it also says within the definition a musical string or a chord. I thought that was interesting because those two letters are both in the mikvah, the washing, and also in the word codes.
So that's what my Aquila thing is. What I need to do right now is I want to pop something up, excuse me, that can kind of go to the point where we can start to calibrate. They're just finding it, but they're finding it with the Torah codes. See, that's important, because I found it using other things.
They're laughing at something, the music's loud. A girl comes towards you, you once used to know. You reach out your hand, but you're all alone in those time passages. I know you're in there, you're just out of sight. Oh, time passages. Buy me a ticket on the last train home.
And many other different methods of thought, and I guess things happening that I might try and make happen, but mostly from things that happen to me, or happen at me, or speak at me. See, that's music, chord, missing chord. She said chord, did she not? I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell like that, but I don't know. See, because you see, there are connections here, and we're looking for Aquila, the voice, because if the people who rule us have already been in the Torah codes and they know that, right? Then they know there's only certain ways that this can come about, that this can be redeemed. And so this person, it doesn't say that he's on another planet waiting. No, it doesn't say that. So, there are things that go with the rapture that just leave everything else in the mud, and our imagination takes over, which doesn't fulfill anything, any of the laws on earth that have to take place. This one is telling us anybody who's saying that an Antichrist is going to come, you're supposed to be saying that at this time. So if you're shaking hands with somebody who's doing peace deals and supporting people in the olive branch chair while it has the eclipses over it with the female, male, eagle, the branch, those things we only know what they taught us. So if I come up and I show it's the ellipses and the eclipses, how it comes over Earth and what it looks like when it's pointing into a certain point, into the west. Da-da, da-da. But you would have to be able to stand with me to see that. So I would never be able to share that with you. But we do want to show that it is definitely now, it's time, because these things are connected now to words and letters in the computer. And, the answers. So Miss the Gatekeeper asked a question, what's it going to look like? We need to be around the correct person to be able to find, the correct premise of how come there are we don't have a team of people who are to be placed for Ezekiel 44 to happen.
I thought that dreams belonged to other men, 'cause each time I got close, they'd fall apart again.
I feared my heart would beat in secrecy. I faced the
taught us to make the same person coming in, entities, the same entity coming down, the Lord will descend with the shout of the archetypal human. That's a human pattern. Because they don't know the A's and the B's and how it goes into language and words and names, and be able to trace those things through the tribes and through locations of people alive now based on even the end of the bulwark. So if the foundation rock is carved in the same shape of this, that's tying back to affinity. So whoever it is, they know, I know that these things fall over here, and you have to be a little thing here, and you have to be able to look up into the sky, not so much straight up, but you have to be able to see where these things are falling. Where they're falling, where's the point along this, along this area, this end point where it's falling. We're not looking at this way. We have to be on the ground, looking this way. And then also tracking what's coming from east to west. And the important things are in the southern hemisphere, because you'll see Orion come over in winter in the southern hemisphere in the wintertime, and then going down with the Pleiades first. Pleiades and then Orion, and that came up in the Torah codes too, but it's already being tracked. How can all that stuff be in these patterns of alphabet? Anybody who comes and says, no, you don't have to see it. Aquila, Hancock, National Treasure, right? Mr. Obama. Well, what does his name mean? Because his name was Barry. Trump. Oh, Biden. Right, he's Joe. We got Ben Yosef in there now. Ben Joe Biden. So we're really just falling over ourselves as a Christian right now, because wouldn't that be crazy if somebody taught me that the shroud definitely means that the guy flew out and he's going to fly back, but we don't know where he's at. I'm saying I'm down. The Jewish people, they're all in the same. They know the Hamashiach's out there. They know. But not even they know the missing chord. But you can see it in the voices in the tabernacle, in the stars, Psalm 19. All the lines, all the speech, all the tongues. There's no place where their voice cannot be heard. And that's a lot transposing. It makes me proud to know that my mind works at that kind of a process.
The lost Holy Sparks that Yosef gathers in, Mashiach ben Yosef in the exile trapped with us, retrieving the souls trapped in the deepest, darkest places of exile. These holy...
There you go. Where it is true. If I speak to you and you don't walk with me a certain amount and jump into the stream, you're not going to be able to understand. You will be a block, because you'll go, I don't want to think right now. I don't want to think right now. Well, it's not so much that. It's that we don't want to think with you. So get out of here. But I can't leave because I'm me. So I have to go through this. See what I'm saying? And the great thing about this is that only Miss Naomi knows in the Akoma tribe, because you can't walk door to door and say, hey, can I talk to you? He's coming if you want.
Everything in the world that is facing us as a people, all can be found in this week's Torah portion, because who we are only when we are plugged into Hashem's presence amongst us. And guess what? It can be done. It can easily
About
be
the
done.
juxtaposition between God being in charge and director.
King David, by tzaddikim, there's a tradition that the perfect tzaddik, his years are perfect, right? His years are absolutely perfect. So he was born and died the same day. But what is this connection between King David and Shavuot? And you're right, the whole connection between King David, who is the epitome of Torah, as it were.
The remnant of Israel will not do any wrong, and they will not speak lies, nor shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth.
Or the very next verse it says, and my servant David and shall be king over them. So we know that this is a clear messianic prophecy, unlike other prophecies that other people purport to be messianic, where there's no mention of David or the root of David or the branch of David or anything like that. This is very clearly messianic prophecy.
And that person has to prove it.
So the capstone's going to be here somewhere. Capstone, somewhere here. Go look for it. I'm joking. Khalifa State. Anyway, I really don't want to be making many more videos, but doesn't this goes with the pyramid? Isn't that funny? I was just saying that. It goes with the pyramid capstone. And that would be over here. That's weird. Isn't that funny? See how those things, this is lira, watch again, and then two piras, two triangles, two deltas. So there are ways to keep track of these things, and there's so many different categories. Each word opens up a same meaning category, but different words and different letters and things like that. So I know that I'm probably not even supposed to show you that, but I don't really respect how people talk to me, because just in business alone, I know that they look at me and say, well, I'm going to have to get this guy to do everything I need at the lowest that I could possibly pay him, where the math is not even meeting a fifth grade, reasonable amount. Meanwhile, they know that. It doesn't really matter. That's why, America could only last so long, because it's only for the people who think positive, make positive, are positive, but the over positive is causing the multiple negatives on massive amounts of people. You know what I'm saying? We can live in a country where there's 330 million people, and if 10 million of them were all doing great, we would probably never see that on TV, because they would control that TV. We would be sitting there watching in a room, and we would be thinking that the rest of the world is doing good, while they're showing it like it's good with their 10 or 20 million people, and the rest of the people would be dead. That's the society we live in with the news. So that the news system itself is now fraud, because it uses the money also based on these tabernacles and the stars, that alignment, those 7 years, and anybody else telling me what to do. If you want to know, if you want what you need, I know there are millionaire people out there, billionaires and trillionaires. There's the bayonet, the two sticks, the person, the shroud. And I can't talk to anybody because I can't go, hi, can I talk to you? Hi, I'd like to speak to you. Hi, can you come over and visit me? So I'm done. I'm already out of society. I'm asked out because I seem to think in more spaces than, well, a lot of people are thinking in more spaces than other people. You can't function. I mean, I'm using the same skills that we got in school, A and B. Nobody really knows that. One is male, one is female. It can't be two males. So it has to be Unicode separated to go to the badges of all the world. And it all goes to the king, prince, priest, who has to be among us. To match those things using this alphabetic system, definitions, and us going and checking, seeing is it on the top text? Is it on top text? Gatekeeper family of a gatekeeper? Miss Crown, Miss Jared, Miss Whitehead, Miss Noble, and see all these things are attached through that 1244 Nehemiah schematic, Mr. Moseson, even Mr. Gallen, Lowell. So I'm looking for who's pliable when the king comes. And if they're not pliable now, no king can be, because it's more and more evidence. Plus with all the movies and all the words, it's beyond anybody's ability to figure out on earth that I know. Than me. So you're going to have to pay me. You're going to have to do what I say. You're going to have to stay away from me for 2 or 3 weeks. You're going to have to listen to everything. And if a person is telling me that everything I do is absolutely worthless, that person's already removed themselves with their own admittance of guilt. The whole damn thing was an incredible freaking mess. And all I did was stand there, unable to defend myself, because the people in the back rooms, no, he did this, he just did that. And they direct everything else somewhere else. And that's why I have the key to the abyss, because I've been running around devouring people like a lion everywhere I go since I was very young, because integrity is everything. And if you don't have integrity, well then, you know what? Then you're a person who's against me, even if you smile and say, we love you, we love you. I said, tow the truck. I got an award like a Good Samaritan award for playing music out in public and such. Excuse me. Let me get this going. You know, if I did get something and something happened good with it, and you walked into the police and said, I'd like to show this to you, Dwayne, I think was his name in Simi Valley. See, you become neurotic when you see that everybody doesn't know how to process information, because that's not a lot of information. So if you watch TV, you're more than likely going to say no to me, and when you say no, what I'm doing is I'm plowing you down. Okay?
So we can see that this is all connected to the completion of all his work, i.e. all Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh's work through the 6,000 years of creation. And then all ordinal of that, 101, 101 Michael. So we've got this connection all the time between Michael and Michael comes out. We need to advocate for the nations, basically. So we've got all them wonderful connections, haven't we? They're absolutely glorious. Right, point 8 from this one.